Hello and welcome. I am Ladi Akeredoluale. Tonight, no breakthrough yet after over 8 hours of talks in Abuja to resolve the industrial dispute between the federal government and striking resident doctors. Non-teaching staff unions of government-owned universities announced plan to embark on an indefinite strike on September the 11th. Another Nigerian is tortured to death, allegedly by the South African police in Johannesburg, the second to be killed in a week in that country. And Hurricane Irma wreaks havoc as it makes landfall in the French island territories in the Caribbean.
On business news tonight, Debt Management Office begins roadshow in Kano for Nigeria's first 100 billion naira Islamic bond, also known as Sukuk.
On sports news, Coco Vandenberg ends Karolina Pliskova's reign as world #1 to reach the US Open semi-finals.
For more than 8 hours now, striking resident doctors have been holding meetings with the federal government officials on how to end their two-day-old strike. If the government team, headed by the Labour and Employment Minister, agrees to the demand of the doctors, hospitals may as well be open for medical services tomorrow. But the meeting, which started early this afternoon, became a closed-door session when it became clear that the doctors were not willing to sheath their swords. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, had expressed his displeasure over the manner at which the union embarked on the strike, noting that it contravened civil service employment laws. Our correspondent, Jure Ngalale, reports.
The stillness in the air reflects the somber mood of both participants and Nigerians as physicians continue their two-day-old strike. Scheduled to start at 12:30 p.m., the meeting is delayed for nearly 2 hours by backroom strategy sessions amongst the two parties. Before proceedings, resident doctors jointly walk out to build consensus opinion. With the fate of an uncountable number of indisposed Nigerians at stake during this ongoing strike of the nation's resident doctors, hopes are now raised that a large dose of conciliation behind this closed door will be the remedy to a strike which has been an agonizing national headache. Good to see you again. The ministers of health and labor emerge with a clear message to striking doctors.
Any other strike can be handled in a way that you don't even care so much about the little time you lose. But in essential services, especially medical services, we can't replace lives that are lost.
The convening minister admonishes the doctors for allegedly transgressing civil service rules.
By Section 18 of the Trade Dispute Act of the Federation, T8, T9, 2004. Once a conciliation starts by the minister, no party is allowed to do a lockout of employees, that's the workers, or embark on strike against the employer.
The doctors did not dispute the minister's claim, agreeing only to move concertedly toward a final resolution.
The trust that wasn't there when MOUs were signed will be restored at this meeting. And what that trust is restored, and evidences of the implementation of those 6-point demands are seen, I hope, which this will be a very shortest strike. Excuse this meeting.
We didn't get enough.
As this report is filed after nearly 7 hours of deliberations, the negotiation continues. Jure Ngalale, Channels Television News.
The federal government may have more trouble to contend with regarding labor issues, as the non-academic staff union of universities has declared an indefinite strike. This is coming at a time the government is still struggling to resolve the strike embarked upon by the academic staff union of universities also 3 weeks ago. Rising from a joint action committee meeting of non-teaching unions, the leadership directed their members across the country to down tools with effect from Monday, September the 11th. They are demanding the immediate payment of earned allowances as well as a review of the university's governance system.
Having comprehensively cleared from our members and gotten a direction from them, we hereby announce that the Jack of Nat, NASU, and SANU has directed its members to embark on comprehensive, total and indefinite strike action effective from Monday, 11 September 2017. During the strike, there shall be no provision for services, no matter how scattered. Concessions shall not be granted, while all our members are to stay at home till further notice, unless as directed by JAC through their respective presidents. For the purpose of clarity, please find again the demands of the 3 university-based non-teaching staff unions. First is the payment of earned allowances to our members, a review of the governance system in our universities, improved funding in line with the UNESCO recommendations, provision of infrastructures in universities.
Barely a week after a Nigerian, Kingsley Ikeri, was killed in KwaZulu-Natal province of South Africa, another Nigerian has been reported dead, this time at Springstown near Johannesburg. 35-year-old Clement Kalu is said to have been tortured to death, allegedly by the South African police, also accused of killing Mr. Ikeri in the same manner. The wife of the latest victim, who is a South African citizen, is reported to have claimed that about 10 policemen arrested her husband from his shop yesterday on suspicion of being a drug dealer, an allegation she said her husband denied. Our South Africa Bureau Chief, Pt.1, reports.
35-year-old Maduabuchuku Clement Kanu, a native of Obosi in Anambra State, was said to have been a businessman, and his death comes literally back to back with those of a string of others, allegedly at the hands of the police. Just last week was in KwaZulu-Natal province, and the week or two before was another in Cape Town, the Western Cape. We spoke to the new president of the Nigerian Union, South Africa, Mr. Detola Olubajo, on the incident.
He was asked to produce the drugs where he kept the drugs, and he kept on saying that he did not have the drugs, according to the wife, because the wife actually run a restaurant. So they did not allow the wife to go with them, so she decided to go in one of the police cars. He said there were 7 of them that came to him. So after that, he was wrapped with a cellophane bag around his face, and that made him to start suffocating, and he said he needed water, though the police doesn't allow her to give the water to the husband. So the man actually died in that process.
Just 2 days ago, the South African Intergovernmental Committee on Migration released a statement noting the alleged incidents or the alleged police killings, directing the Nigerian Union, South Africa or similar organizations to report incidents like that to the IPID, which is the Independent Police Investigating Directorate, which is the body that polices the police. In this case, as in the many others, the matter has been reported to the relevant authorities. Hopefully, a post-mortem will give the pointers as to what exactly happened in this instance. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, Abike Dabiri-Erewa, has also been reacting to the latest murder of another Nigerian in South Africa. She says the issue is becoming worrisome and will be strongly rejected by the Nigerian government.
Again of another Nigerian in South Africa by the South African police is condemnable, is worrisome, and it's most unacceptable. Of course, you know there's been an early warning signal put in place by both countries some time ago when this incident happened, but it looks like it's really not working. But what is working, I know at this point in time, is that our embassy, our consulate in Johannesburg has actually been very proactive. Immediately this incident happened, they went to the area of the incident, which is actually very, very far. It's about an hour's flight from Durban, and then about 4 hours drive from Durban to this particular area where this incident happened. And they visited the scene, and they've also interacted with the community, with the Nigerians, and with the police. And our consulate is demanding that the policeman who did this again must be charged.
Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha is assuring residents of the state of better security of lives and property. The governor was speaking at the State House in Owerri shortly after 2 suspects were arrested in connection with the murder of a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Syriacus Onokwo. He also condemned the numerous hate speeches and negative social media campaigns by those he described as desperate politicians.
The kingpins and those responsible for the timely death of the priest are in the police custody. And investigation is still going on, and the police commissioner is reporting to me accordingly as they make the progress in the matter. Reports reaching me indicates also is one of those acts that those entrusted with responsibility to save lives and property could also be found to be an accused. And that's the aspect that worries us a lot. So the investigation is still going on, and very soon we'll let the public see or know what was responsible for the death of the Reverend Father. As it is now, we're putting a close monitoring, and the suspects are cooperating by giving the relevant information and how the whole act took place.
Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha. In the Northeast, security continues to be a major challenge for the World Food Programme in its bid to reach vulnerable people displaced or cut off by crisis. The executive director of the WFP, who recently returned from a visit to the region, is asking that the Nigerian government do more so that more victims of the insurgency can be reached. When asked about plans of the WFP to pull out of the Northeast in the light of a recent attack on those working with the organization, Mr. David Beasley dismissed the story as a rumor. He was speaking in an exclusive interview with Channels Television in Abuja.
We've heard these rumors, but we are not pulling out at all. We are hands-on, and I can tell you very clearly that the Borno state government is working and cooperating with us. We have been in constant dialogue with the Nigerian government and the military as well. And I think there's been some mistakes made here or there, but everybody's working together pretty good. I've been impressed meeting with the leadership, met with the vice president just yesterday, talked with the ministers, the foreign affairs minister. There's a commitment to cooperate. And anytime, as I have a very open, I think, relationship, I said, if we make a mistake, let us know. If you make a mistake, we'll let you know. Well, let's have a collaborative openness so that we can address any problem that comes about. But still, access in these insecure environments is our #1 thing. And it's a problem all over the world right now. Insecurity is, it's hard to believe that the World Food Program, years ago, we were just in emergency conditions like earthquakes and tsunamis and hurricanes. Now, 80% of our expenditures are in man-made conflicts, war zones, like Northeast Nigeria.
In part 2, after the break, President Buhari returns to Abuja after spending the Eid al-Kabir holidays in his hometown, Daura, in Katsina State. Please stay on with us.